The Metabot game introduced its Digimon collaboration event during a live program, showcasing several Digimon-inspired Metabots and new gameplay features. Mugendramon includes parts like Mugen Cannon and Mugen Hand, with a Weapon Master leg ability that enhances attack power by adding a percentage of the leg's resistance, which increases with rank. Apokalimon's abilities involve inflicting negative statuses on opponents, which boost the performance of its parts, stacking up to 5 times. Garuru Metal is not a new model and comes with parts like Metal Tomahawk and Freeze Shot. It also has the Weapon Master leg ability. Alongside these Metabots, the game features special Medarot abilities. For example, Ikki wearing the Taichi costume has the ability titled, "I'll handle this, I'll figure something out," which boosts the charge gauge when an enemy part is destroyed. As for Davis' costume, Koishimaru's ability, "You've got good judgment," increases damage dealt to enemies. However, there's a trade-off. It reduces the leg resistance, both fighting and shooting resistance stats. Azuma, dressed in Takaro's clothes, possesses the skill No Turning Back, focusing on defense, reducing incoming damage from enemies. The event itself is divided into 4 weeks of activities. Week 1 focuses on collecting RoboBattle points, Week 2 on gathering exchange items, Week 3 on both RoboBattle points and boss battles, and Week 4 on completing specific challenges for high scores. Players can unlock exclusive Digimon-themed Metabots and rewards throughout the event. Additionally, there is a social media campaign where players can unlock special illustrations of Metabots based on Digimon by reaching like and repost milestones. The event also shared detailed designs of the Metabots like Mugendramon and Apokalimon with insights into their appearance and functionality. For instance, Mugendraborg's cannon connects to its backpack, and its legs appear to have reverse joint limbs, although it functions as a standard bipedal model. Further content includes login bonuses, story mode, and event packs, with a special Gomamon skin available as well. The 2 new Metabots, Apocalypse End and Mugendraborg, will be added to the game starting on October 17th. Both designs and illustrations were handled by the talented artist Tyuga, who was also responsible for the creation of these Digimon-themed Metabots. Players will have the chance to obtain these new Metabots through both pickup and special gacha banners. This week's Terriermon Assistant program was all about taking revenge on the Digimon Timer quiz. Terriermon assured viewers they didn't need to watch the previous episode, joking it might be better to pretend this is his first attempt since his earlier results weren't something to be proud of. Armed with the confidence of having watched every episode of Digimon Adventure, he felt ready for a new challenge. As before, a staff member prepared 10 questions. The rules stayed the same. Answer 8 out of 10 correctly to pass, with only 6 seconds to respond to each question. This time, he didn't have to read the questions aloud, and the potential reward was a high-quality meat. The quiz kicked off. How many claws does Biyomon have? He confidently said 3, and it was right. What is Ikakumon's special move? He correctly answered Harpoon Vulcan. Which of the chosen children calls their parents Papa and Mama? He said Takeru, but he was only half right. It's also Mimi. What was the first ultimate Digimon the kids encountered? He was unsure, but guessed Andromon, which turned out to be correct. He admitted he remembered this because the staff showed a picture as a hint. Is Metal Greymon's trident arm on the right or left arm? He said the right, but it's actually on the left. After defeating Devimon, where did the children travel to? He didn't respond in time, and the answer was server continent. He kicked himself afterward because this is the scene where they play 7, a song he really likes, so he felt he should have known. What's Piccolomon's catchphrase? He said Dapi and got it right. People who didn't watch the Japanese version might not have known this. Who wasn't implanted with a black gear? He remembered that Elegmon wasn't, since Elegmon was only trying to protect the baby Digimon and not a bad guy, and got this right. What Digimon is this? He said Tabun Konamon, something like that mon, but the correct was Kito Konamon, must be something like that mon. His answer was close, but still wrong. Its special move is Hippopoda Vacuum. This Digimon appeared in episode 12, where TK guesses 2 possible evolutions for Patamon, but neither convinced him. Which Digimon defeated Raremon in Tokyo Bay? He said Mega Kabuterimon, but the answer was simply Kabuterimon. He ran out of time on this one. Terriermon scored 5 out of 10. He jokingly lamented that he might never evolve as a Digimon expert and mused that maybe it's because he doesn't have a destined partner. Part 2 of the quiz followed. When Gabumon first evolved, who was he fighting? He correctly said Seadramon. Who is the ogre-type Digimon that's a rival of Leomon? He quickly answered Ogremon, who eventually redeemed himself by joining Mimi and the others like a cool, wandering traveler. What is Devimon's special attack? He didn't answer this one. The correct answer was Deathclaw, or the Touch of Evil in the subtitles. He said that many special move names involve claw or touch, which always confuse him. Who was Greymon fighting when he Dark Digivolved? He incorrectly said Skull Greymon. It was the result of the Dark Evolution, but the correct answer was Greymon. He admitted that he doesn't like watching Digimon fight each other and was watching this episode with his eyes half closed, which is why he got it wrong. What did Vedemon steal from Izzy? He didn't know this one. The answer was Izzy's curiosity, his curious spirit. Who commanded Myotismon's Bakemon army? He couldn't recall the name. The correct answer was Phantomon. What stuffed toy is attached to Metalitemon's waist? He answered Warumonzaimon, which was correct. He then commented that he wished they'd sell plushies of Digimon you could attach to your waist, shoulder, or even wear on your head, especially one of himself. Who was the third Dark Master the kids defeated? He forgot the answer, which was Machine Dramon. Who defeated Lady Devimon? He said Anjumon, but he was out of time. He remarked that this was a memorable fight between women, complete with slaps. What is Piedmon's special move? He hesitated, saying sword something. The correct answer was Trump Sword, and he sighed that remembering Digimon names is hard enough, let alone their special moves. In Part 2, Terriermon only got 4 out of 10, one less than in the first round, bringing his total score to 9 out of 20. He half-jokingly suggested that maybe he could still be treated to a regular BBQ instead of the premium one. He resolved to keep taking quizzes like this in the future. Finally, he discussed nicknames for himself and his fans. For himself, he chose Terisuke, a play on the word assistant in Japanese, where suke is another way to read the word joshu. For fan names, there were suggestions like Kenterin, a combination of Terry and Kenkyu in meaning researcher, Gummimon Squad, or even just humans. Ultimately, he decided on Terisuna, a Terry listener, saying that his listeners were more than just fans, they were also his friends. He added that there might even be his future partner among them. He invited fans to share their thoughts and artwork on X with the hashtag HelloTerryLab and signed off with a playful Deathclaw move. Jesmon GX is coming to New Century. It is immune to action restrictions and counterattacks after taking damage. Its normal skill, Knight's Punishment, deals damage to all enemies. After using this skill, it gains layers of tactical armament, with each layer granting 1 turn of complete damage immunity. Its ultimate skill, Holy Fist Annihilation, strikes a single target 9 times, increasing damage with each AP consumed. If at least 6 AP are used, the attack ignores all target buffs and suppresses them. In dungeon battles, this skill also bypasses most defenses. When it has 3 layers of tactical armament, the skill transforms into Knight's Invader, which applies a debuff that prevents enemies from gaining buffs, deals additional damage to other enemies, and transforms this Digimon into an Awakening Knight. In this form, it is immune to action restrictions and can only be targeted by enemies as the main threat. The passive skill, Endless Gloves, allows it to counterattack after being attacked, based on the type of attack. When hit by group attacks, it dispels buffs from the enemy and steals some for itself, while dealing true damage. When attacked by a single target, it strikes back, reducing the target's maximum HP. If it goes through 4 actions without being attacked, it launches both group and single target counters simultaneously. The Awakening Knight passive ability boosts its damage and defense, capping the damage it can take in a single hit. It may also activate Fastest Legend, ensuring it always attacks first. At the start of battle, it gains 3 layers of tactical armament and is protected from fatal damage once per round. In the Chinese game, Digimon New Century, a new season of the ladder has begun. Let's see the details about the new buffs and the Digimon that will benefit. Jesmon GX, its special move triggers a counterattack based on the enemy's attack type when it gets hit. The surprise attack buff increases its counterattack damage. Dynasmon X, after receiving a certain number of attacks, it triggers a counterattack on all enemies with enhanced damage from the surprise attack buff. Imperialmon X applies Mighty Guard to teammates who will counterattack when attacked with increased damage thanks to the surprise attack buff. Omegamon, after using its special move, Full Power Blast, it can freeze enemies. If the freeze is resisted or removed, the target loses some AP, and if still frozen by the time the enemy acts, all AP will be drained with the exhaustion buff. Hercules Kabuterimon X. At the start of the battle, it may activate Enhanced Static Field, disarming enemies and possibly paralyzing them. If the enemy is still disarmed or paralyzed before their turn, they will lose all AP due to the exhaustion buff. In conclusion, the new ladder buffs bring fresh strategies and challenges to the game, allowing players to enhance their lineups and conquer tougher battles.